All right.
So I think at 0-3 they have a chance of getting back into that. I mean, Seattle's 2-1. Arizona's 2-1 now.
Arizona is 2-1. San Francisco's in trouble. They are absolutely in deep trouble.
Do they still win that division? Anybody?
No. God,
I know
no.
Joe has Seattle winning the division. You're saying no, God, no, they don't win the division?
No, they don't have. They're not going to win the division. I don't think so. I almost have to say that I might agree with Joe now with Seattle.
I'm going to say that I think that San Francisco will still win the division.
All right.
I don't know how.
They did. Well, how is that they fired their offensive coordinator today.
Yeah.
And they got a new one, which is kind of ridiculous. The whole story of the fact that they had to fire their offensive coordinator because plays weren't getting in the huddle fast enough for them to be organized on offense and know what's going on. That's why, one of the main reasons.
You need time at the line of scrimmage. Do you need to get the play and get to the line of scrimmage and then have another 15, 20 seconds to see what you're up against and make different maneuvers? If you're able to get to the line and there's only 8 or 9 seconds left, you don't stand much of a chance.
Yeah. And when you're Alex Smith, you need like 4 minutes once you get to the line of scrimmage to figure out what's going on.
That's true.
Rams. Okay, we got Alan in the chat room saying Rams end up with a better record than San Francisco.
They might. Rams got a decent little football team, I think.
They did it. If they don't get Steven Jackson back healthy, I'm telling you that they won't.
Some of these guys that I was impressed with this weekend, Carrington made a few plays.
Carrington
or whatever. The guy they got from Buffalo or whatever.
Oh, I don't know who that is. On their defense?
Mm-hmm. And then James Laurinaitis looked good. They're a pretty decent football team. But back to San Francisco. The San Francisco KC game had the play call of the week. I love to see the creativity from Todd Haley. Sandcastle motions himself. Matt Castle motions himself wide left. Direct snap to Jamal Charles in the Wildcat. And then Castle gets it on the end around and throws it 50 yards to a wide open Dwayne Bowe. Was easily the best play of the weekend.
It's just hilarious. But you gotta love the Chiefs. The Chiefs actually, they're one of those teams to me right now that seems like they're going to be a totally different team at home. They're going to be tough to beat at home.
They're always tough to beat at home, even when they suck.
All right, so what I wanted to do was go top 5 NFC teams. Top 5 teams in the NFC right now, because mine was, other than my top 2, 3 through 5 changed completely just this week. Because
top 5 of the NFC.
Yeah, top 5 teams. I still have one Green Bay in my pick to go to the Super Bowl. I still have them number 1, and I still have the Saints 2.
Agree.
Number 3, immediate jump into the number 3 spot, Philadelphia Eagles.
Agree.
After seeing Michael Vick do what he did, I'm like, now the Eagles are going to be very tough to beat. Number 4.
That's it. We shouldn't do a 4 and a 5. Those are the only 3 good teams in the NFC.
It's possible, but just to round out the top 5, 4, Atlanta Falcons. I'm very impressed with what they did going into New Orleans. And
that being said, I don't think they're a very good team.
I still think they're okay. And number 5, I guess Chicago. 5, I was having a tough time putting anyone in there. I want Dallas. I want to put Dallas in there, but it's hard. Because I don't really feel like you're right. I really don't feel like there are that many good teams in the NFC.
Yeah, I don't like the Redskins anymore either.
4 and 5, the Redskins.
It's a terrible pick beginning of the year by me.
Dallas, Vikings. I definitely do not like the Vikings. Definitely don't like the Vikings.
If the Vikings can just hang in there until they get Sidney Rice back, they'll be okay. And why don't these teams? Don't they? Does anyone try to improve during the season in the NFL? Why not? If you're Green Bay, why not go out and get Marshawn Lynch? You're trying to make a run at the Super Bowl. Why not go out and get a guy? You're Minnesota. Why not go out and get Vincent Jackson? Why not? Your wide receivers are playing so badly that it's embarrassing. It is. It's embarrassing. And did you see Brett Favre is talking about how bad their passing game is? And he's saying, and I'm talking about myself, blah, blah, blah. And then Percy Harvin has the nerve to come out and say, to use the words bad reads and breaking down the game. He's talking about he's like, we had some bad plays, some bad reads. Yeah, that's a lot of nerve.
I don't know that he's saying that Favre had a bad read.
Especially less than a week after bobbling the ball around, juggling it to yourself on the goal line, and handing it to the other team. Let's face it, Percy Harvin has sucked so far this year. It's a lot of nerve for him to call out Brett Favre like that.
So basically, is Sidney Rice that good that he's missing and they can't do a thing passing the ball?
Very good.
Like, what are they going to be able to get back to that level when Sidney Rice comes back that they were at last year?
The fact of the matter is, Sidney Rice is a more than viable number one receiver. It's not the fact that the other guys are that bad. None of them are number ones. You bring him in, and that changes the matchup for Percy Harvin. It changes the matchup for Bernard Berry. And all of a sudden, instead of going against people who are slightly better than them, they're all going against people who are slightly worse than them.
Right.
So it changes the matchups for everyone. So yes, it does make that big of a difference.
What are they saying on Sidney Rice? 6 weeks? Is he still going to be another 2 or 3 games?
Maybe even longer than that.
So, and Vincent Jackson would have been what? Was he still suspended for what, 6?
I just don't understand. They're saying that if he got traded,
right?
they'll take away some of the games. But I just don't understand why they don't even try. The whole NFL. They just don't care to do stuff.
I think it would be like I don't know, if they see a value in trade.
That's what I thought it was too. 8 on Sidney Rice. I don't think he's coming back till halfway through the year.
Well, if they didn't pick up Vincent Jackson, if they picked up Vincent Jackson, that still leaves him without a wide receiver for the next 3 weeks. So.
Oh,
even if they do trade for Vincent Jackson,
they're not even close.
So, all right, I think we possibly might be done with the NFL right now because we discussed the fact that Houston was torn apart by Dallas.
Houston was just way overrated after the first 2. Yes, they were a complete fraud. They should have lost to Washington. They got beat up by Washington and pulled it out in a miracle. And, you can't give up 500 yards passing a game. You can't. Still a good team, though.
They're good.
But they're not a Super Bowl contender.
And DeMarcus Ware, wow.
Yes.
3 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, he was unstoppable, and Jason Garrett finally started calling. I think that he found the playbook, the pages of the playbook that had running plays on it.
Yeah.
And he started calling running plays last week, and that went a long way. They had balance, and
what is it with quarterbacks? Kareem Jackson and Jason Allen. Definitely with the 2 worst plays of the week.
Plays.
It's one thing if you fall down, I understand, but just don't fall down when you're one-on-one with a wideout and no one behind you. If it's an over-under zone or something, then fine, fall down. But you're straight up man with a guy and you just fall down, you just can't do that.
The Braylon Edwards play was bad when he let Braylon Edwards go on that one.
Yes.
That was pretty tough to watch. All right. So hopefully...
that should have been a 6-yard game. Instead it was an 81-yard touchdown.
It's the breaks. You're going to have good tackling. That's why those DBs that can tackle, the corners that can tackle, are more valuable in the NFL nowadays than ever because people are always passing and trying to take advantage of those matchups. All right. We're going to wrap this one up and do a little baseball when we come back, I think.